politics for the center is always going to be something that has to be sex positive. That politics is always going to have to be something that's anti-homophobic. That always has to be anti-misogynistic. And within these parameters, we believe we can explore anything, have any kinds of conversations.
What makes CSGS a compelling space?
I think it's the aesthetics, the sexiness, and Ishq.
Ishq is our flagship series of talks and events. Ishq is an Arabic word that traveled through Persian to Urdu to Hindustani, that pervades so many different ways of being in the world. It brings together pleasure, pain, love and desire on the one hand, longing and yearning on the other hand. All these things that people think of as opposites come together in Ishq.
Ishq is a mode, a way of thinking, a point of view that forces us to see love in dialogue. We have scholars, activists, experts come in from the field of gender and sexuality and share their insights with the Ashoka community.
And so every book, every event, every conversation I had with somebody would be followed with this idea that there is something over here that can be captured as an Ishq event as well. So when Ishq is running through your mind the whole time, that's when you know that you're working at CSGS.
You know, if I had to dedicate a song to the center, right now in the moment, I think of the song Kambakt Ishq from this film Pyar Tune Kya Kiya, I think from early 2000s, and it goes like Kambakt Ishq hai jo सारा जहां है वो कब आता है.
I was invited to speak at the Center for Gender and Sexuality Studies at Ashoka in October 2024. Students were extremely engaged. I also had a chance to meet some of the postdoctoral fellows of the center. And the conversations we started there, I hope I'm able to continue. And on its 10th anniversary, I want to congratulate them for all the great work that they've done. And I look forward to, continuing the collaboration and being a part of many more events with the center.
I've had the good fortune of participating in several events that was held at the CSGS. There was always a sense of fun that pervaded the event, and that made it particularly special.
I am a disco dancer. I am a disco dancer.
What makes the center's work so compelling?
I love the performances that the center curates. They open up interesting worlds of questioning, reflecting, ways of being and living, with lots of masti, maza, nakhra and ada.
Ada is a term associated very much with performance. It also suggests mannerisms, it also suggests culture, a certain kind of extremely cultured, genteel way of being in the world, which was of course embodied by the Tawayas, the courtesans of Lucknow. And so our Ada series really tries to capture that sense of performance with all its aesthetic splendor.
Ada bring performances that captivate and mesmerize the audience to challenge notions of hierarchy and hegemony around us. With performances like Dil Dilli Dehleez, Whacking Kya Hai Aap Meri Jaan Le Lijiye, and performers like Kareem Khubchandani, Anuradha Kapoor. Ada is where thought meets movement and performance becomes conversation.
But what strikes me in this moment is the play Allegedly by Mallika Thaneja. We had hosted her and her team. And to me, it's really interesting because Thaneja is dealing with law, but is showing it to us through the lens of performance. And that itself is really exciting, right? Because we think of the law as a kind of rigid, mechanical sort of formulation, but we're dealing with it in the realm of drama.
Where would we be without eating good food?
What have been your go-to event snacks for the center?
Biryani, nothing less than 10 kilos of biryani.
At one point we had pan, but I know it is biryani. It has to be biryani for everyone.
I know the popular vote is for biryani, but personally, I really dig the samosas on campus, and I always sneak a few when no one's looking.
What do you think about the research at CSGS?
Not only do I find the research at CSGS cutting edge, I find it's riled up in new possibilities for early career Indian scholars working trans scholarship. And well, no amount of tarif can actually measure up to my appreciation for their work.
Tarif is the name of our trans fellowship that we offer at the center. And it's called Tarif because Tarif in Urdu means praise, accolades, something deserving and worthy of the highest honor. Because we like to think about our politics as trans politics, always moving, always migrating, never staying still, and always celebrating ways of being in the world.
So Tarif's India's first trans fellowship, which anchors transness as a pedagogy and politics. And our cohort has worked over a wide range of topics ranging from the Koti experience to phenomenology to anti-gender politics. We've even had global internationally recognized mentors such as Professor Anjali Rondekar, Flavia Agnes and Professor Agnieszka Graf.
Under the Tarif program, my research focused on the rise of anti-gender politics in Kerala. Although it was a study on a socially sensitive crisis, I was able to navigate through it with the support of CSGS team.
There are so many Center for Gender Studies in different universities in India, but very few of them take sexuality as its primary object of inquiry.
Dedication to a sort of humanistic exploration of sexuality and gender that makes it an open question rather than a site of predefined definition and knowledge.
You know, you're working at the CSGS when you're thinking about sex all day.
When you're constantly fighting with each other, you're constantly engaged in these fierce kind of debates in the middle of the day. And you know, the next thing then you're playing a Bollywood song and dancing to it together.
You know you work at CSGS when you have an office space that is creative not just physically but also intellectually, and you get to engage with gender and sexual politics outside the conventional framework of violence.
It really is again a way of investing in the fact that there are no final answers to questions of sexuality. There is no fixed sense in which we can think about sexuality all the time. And you know, once we acknowledge that kind of, you know, untranslatability of sex, that kind of unknowingness that's built into sexuality, then you're going to always have to contend with each other, kind of grapple with each other, fight with each other in a sort of in a more intellectual sense.
सीने में राज़ इश्क छुपाया ना जाएगा, ये आग है वो जिसको दबाया ना जाएगा.